Hello and welcome. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. It's good to have you again with us. Now, you're watching a special broadcast here on DD India. We're calling it, as always, hashtag tracking COVID-19. Remember, DD India is your one-stop destination for all information related to COVID-19. And it goes without saying that we at DD India are taking particular care to give you, the viewer, accurate, authentic and authoritative information so that you don't fall prey to rumors or fake news. Now, wherever in the world you might be, it is in your interest to follow protocols, advisories and guidelines issued by the authorities concerned. Now, it's day 50 of the lockdown. We have 4 more days to go in lockdown 3.0. Some restrictions have been eased, but we are not out of the woods. Things could quickly take a turn for the worse. So please practice social distancing, wear a mask, and most importantly, keep washing your hands with soap. All right, then let's get started. First up, the headlines. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman unveils the Atmanirbhar Bharat economic package. It will cater to micro, small, medium and cottage industries besides labour and middle classes. 1.7 lakh crore rupees for the poor as part of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. 3 lakh crore rupee collateral-free automatic loan for industry. 20,000 crore rupees subordinate debt for stressed MSMEs to benefit 2 lakh businesses. 50,000 crore rupee equity infusion for MSMEs. The definition of MSME to be revised. Investment limit to be revisited. ₹100 crore EPF support for business and workers for 3 more months to benefit 72.22 lakh employees. EPF contribution reduced for businesses and workers for 3 months for liquidity support of 6,750 crore rupees. ₹30,000 crore rupees special liquidity scheme for NBFCs, HFCs and MFIs. 45,000 crore partial credit guarantee scheme 2.0 for NBFCs. Extension of registration completion date of real estate projects under RERA by treating COVID-19 as an event of force majeure. Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electricity Corporation to infuse liquidity of 90,000 crore rupees DISCOMs. Central Public Sector Generation companies shall give rebate to DISCOMs, which shall be passed on to the industry. And 50,000 crore liquidity through TDS or TCS rate reduction. Period of Vivad Se Vishwas scheme for making payment without additional amount to be extended to 31st December. Due date of all income tax returns for 2019-2020 to be extended to 30th November. All right, over the next 30 minutes, we'll get you all the news, views and analyses of the 20 lakh crore economic package announced by Prime Minister Modi yesterday, details of which were unveiled by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman this afternoon. Listen to an expert from a press conference about the housing sector to begin with.
Launches a 30,000 crore special liquidity scheme. Under the scheme, investment will be made in both primary and secondary market transactions where investment grade debt papers, this is not infusing equity, this is taking and buying debt papers of NBFCs, housing finance corporations and microfinance institutions, and not high quality debt papers, they can be investment quality also. 45,000 crore liquidity infusion through a partial credit guarantee scheme for the NBFCs in particular. This is an existing scheme, but we are expanding its scope.
Let me now walk you through the other big takeaways from the minister's briefing. The minister spoke about MSMEs and how the definition of MSME has been changed. Take a listen.
A change in the definition of MSME so that they need not worry about growing in size. They will still be able to get quite a lot of benefits which otherwise as an MSME they had got. So now how do we change it? I told you why we are changing the definition. How are the changes being brought about? What exactly is the change which is coming in? The change is that investment limit which defined an MSME is being revised upwards. So you can be a slightly more larger invested company, but you're still going to be considered only as an MSME. Additional criteria to define an MSME is being brought in, and that criteria is based on turnover.
Now, she spoke about 6 steps for MSMEs as well.
There are 6 major steps for the MSMEs. The first one, there is a collateral-free automatic loan for MSMEs which is being provided. This will give facility up to 3 lakh crores. 25 crore outstanding for those MSME units for whom 25 crore is the outstanding loan, or 100 crores whose turnover is, will benefit from this. These loans will have a 4-year tenure and there will be a moratorium given for 12 months. These are going to be 100% credit guaranteed over as a cover given to banks and NBFCs on principal and interest.
Now, TDS and TCS rates are to be reduced by 25% till 31st March 2021.
Till 31st March 2021, reduce the TDS rates and the TCS rates by 25% of the existing rate. So if the existing rate is 100, it will be reduced by 25%. This shall apply to all payments, if they are payment for contracts or professional fees or interest or rent or dividend or commission or brokerage. All of these will be eligible for this 25% rate reduction.
In order to provide more take-home salary for employees and to give relief to employers in payment of PF, EPF contribution is being reduced for businesses and workers for 3 months.
EPF now is the statutory PF contribution for those who are not covered in the earlier one is being reduced from 12% to 10%. So for the next 3 months, employers need to pay only 10% and not 12% so that they will have some more money in their hands. However, for the central public sector enterprises and for state PSUs, we will continue to pay 12%. So this reduction is not for the government. However, government employees government employer still pays 12%. But employees in these public sector undertakings will be given the advantage of paying only 10%. Liquidity relief is being given for all EPF establishments. In this, 12% which is paid by the employer and 12% by the employee contribution. We extend the support which Government of India gave for another 3 months.
And last but not the least, there will be a 90,000 crore rupee liquidity injection for power distribution companies, also known as DISCOMs.
They are unable to pay the power generating companies. You know, all the states, DISCOMs are in serious crisis. So in order to help them, there is a emergency liquidity injection which is happening to the extent of 90,000 crores. Now the Power Finance Corporation, REC, the Rural Electrification Corporations, both of them put together will infuse liquidity of 90,000 crores to all the DISCOMs against all the receivables that they have. They're sitting there without getting paid. In turn, they are not able to pay the Gencos. In turn, the Gencos are wondering where they will have more money to pay for producing electricity. And at a time when we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, at a time when we are also rightly claiming the credit for having made India a surplus power generating country.
And India Inc. has hailed the economic package to meet the challenges arising out of COVID-19. Listen in to some of the reactions coming in.
The Honorable Finance Minister really unveiled a very impactful package under the first tranche of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. We particularly welcome the relief package that has been provided to the MSMEs through a range of targeted measures, including provision of collateral-free loan, fund of funds and payment of delayed dues to the MSMEs within 45 days. Very, very importantly, the Finance Minister has announced the redefinition of the MSMEs, which will enable them to scale up without losing the MSME benefits. The measures of the construction, real estate and tax payments add up to ease of doing business. It's really heartening that most of the demands of the industry has been seen in this almost 6 lakh crore plus of stimulus which has been granted today.
आज के जो अनाउंसमेंट्स किए वित्त मंत्री ने, एक तो एसएमई की डेफिनेशन चेंज कर दी है और दूसरा इन्वेस्टमेंट और टर्नओवर का कॉम्बिनेशन रखा हुआ है। तो उससे जो एमएसएमईज अब तक हिचकिचा रहे थे और वो इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कर रहे थे उस डर से, उनके पास काफ़ी अभी कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा कि वो इन्वेस्ट करें और अपने जो फर्म्स को एक्सपैंड करें। एमएसएमईज के एक्सपेंशन के लिए काफ़ी पैसे नहीं था। अब जो फंड्स जो आज अनाउंस किए, उनके एक्सपेंशन के लिए भी एक तरीके से एक स्पेशल लिक्विडिटी विंडो रखी है।
इस सेक्टर को बढ़ावा देना, ये मैं समझता हूं कि एक बहुत ही उचित कदम है और ऐसा ये कदम है जो भारत की जीडीपी को एक कहीं से कहीं ले जाएगा और इसको जो बल मिला है, जो आज पैकेज अनाउंस हुआ है, वास्तव में एमएसएमई सेक्टर के लिए ये गोल्डन पीरियड है।
Now, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has welcomed the economic package. Now, UP has the largest number of units linked to the MSME sector.
कोरोना संकट के कारण जो एक रुकावट आई, आज जिस प्रकार की घोषणा हुई है, खासतौर पर एमएसएमई सेक्टर के लिए 3 लाख करोड़ रुपए के लोन की घोषणा, इस सेक्टर में कार्य करने वाली यूनिट को अलग से मदद देने के साथ ही देश के अंदर इस सेक्टर में काम करने वाले जो कर्मी हैं, उनकी ईपीएफ की समस्या के समाधान करने के लिए भी जो महत्वपूर्ण कदम उठाए गए हैं, ये अभिनंदनीय हैं। मैं इसका स्वागत करता हूं।
All right, my colleague Arun Sharma now joins us live for more on this developing story. Arun, help our viewers understand what's in it in the economic package for corporates, for MSMEs, for the labor class and the middle classes.
Well, so in a series of major announcement which has started taking place from today after the announcement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the 20 lakh crore mega package. Today, I mean, if we try to categorize it, the primary focus was on the taxpayers, the power sector, that means discoms. And yes, the major portion was for the MSMEs, that means the medium, small and micro enterprises. The specific reason for the MSMEs was that MSMEs, I mean, let's try to understand this way. Sure. MSMEs have been always been having a problem of two things. Number one is financing, and number two is to get a proper market. So in that context, today's decision or today's announcement by the finance minister will play an important role in restarting the MSME sector going forward. Now look at this way, the number one and the mega decision taken by the government, or the announcement by the government of 3 lakh crore for the MSME. I mean, that's a kind of loan, primarily the collateral-free loan for the MSME sector. This means that these MSMEs can avail the collateral-free loan at and that too also on a moratorium of 12 months. That means if in case they can't pay principal of this loan taken for next 12 months, that's okay. That will be a moratorium period. They'll only have to pay interest. And this loan will be completely collateral free. That means no need for any MSME for keeping any kind of collateral to take additional loan for their requirement. The interest rate will also be kept. That means any bank cannot raise the interest rate for lending money to the MSMEs. So this decision of 3 lakh crore rupees, I mean, it gives additional money in the hands of MSMEs so that they can start their business. I mean, look at this way, Ramesh. This is a time when most of the MSMEs are looking to buy more and more raw material products. They need to buy their items. They need to go ahead with expansion of their business. But as of now, the funding was not available because of the COVID. Maximum MSMEs have been closed because of the COVID. So this will help us in restarting the MSME sector. Second important part, what about those MSMEs, the MSMEs which are into NPA category, those MSME which do not have a good credit rating as far as the loans are concerned, which are NPAs. So government has announced basically a kind of a subordinate debt for these kind of MSME of 20,000 crore rupees. That means the MSMEs which are already categorized into NPAs, not a good credit rating, they can also avail benefit as far as this rating is concerned. And as far as the big announcement, the big takeaway as far as the market is concerned, I mean, look at this, Ramesh, global tendering that happens. I mean, till 200 crore rupees of government procurement, only MSMEs, will get a maximum market in that condition, because global tenders are disallowed till 200 crore rupees. That means as of now, various other players from other countries, the bigger players were getting chance by bidding in the government procurement. So now till 200 crore rupees, the MSMEs will get a bigger market, get chance to bid, they'll chance to tender the government procurement. So more and more MSMEs can come out and they can bid for that thing. So yes, on one side, government is ensured for giving finances to the MSMEs, for ensuring funding and liquidity. So on the other side, government is also ensuring, a kind of a bigger market for them by also measures like fund of funds have been created. More equity can be infused in the MSME so that they can get listed on the stock markets, they can spend their businesses. So all these measures, so on one side financial liquidity, on other side a big market is waiting for MSME sector. So the message is clear that we are ready for Made in India, and these two strategy, on one side financing and on other side providing big market to the MSMEs, will play an important role.
And Arun, before I go into detail on the Atmanirbhar Bharat or Self-Reliant India thrust or emphasis laid by Prime Minister Modi, a quick follow-up question on the MSME sector. How significant do you think is the decision to redefine the MSME?
Absolutely significant. I was about to come on that part as well. Now, till now, let's try to understand, Ramesh. MSME do not hesitate in doing businesses. The major problem that MSMEs face as of now is that they can't go into too many compliances. They can't go into tax hurdles. They can't get categorization. So what was happening till now, Ramesh, that MSMEs were categorized on the basis of investment made in various machineries, various instruments that they're buying. So now the categorization will happen on the basis of investment and turnover. That means if in case any MSME which is having an investment of 1 crore rupees and turnover of 5 crore rupees, that will be categorized as a micro. If any MSME which is the investment is worth 5 crore rupees, and of course the turnover is still 50 crore rupees, that will be categorized as medium. So categorization has been done to complete clarity. I mean, no categorization on the basis of manufacturing unit or services unit. All the MSMEs all across the board, that means crores of MSMEs which are working under in India, only two categorization, only on the basis of investment and on the basis of turnover that the company is having as of now. Because there are many MSMEs as of now which are working in both the directions. They're working for the manufacturing unit as well. They're working as a services as well. They're conglomerates of small conglomerates primarily of MSMEs which are working as which are providing services also, which are also providing manufacturing also. So too much of compliances for these kind of MSMEs. So yes, government has also tried to reduce the compliance level as far as the MSMEs are concerned. So this is actually simplification for the MSMEs as well, so that no need for any kind of hurdles as far as the compliance are concerned. A very simple strategy as far as the definition of MSME will be on the basis of investment and of course the turnover which they are generating as of now.
Okay, and one last question, Arun. Now, yesterday Prime Minister Modi spoke about how the economy must lead to a quantum jump. He is not happy with an incremental change, number one. And number two, he says, go local to go global. And he used the phrase vocal for local. And he also spoke about how this 20 lakh crore package is equivalent to 10% of the GDP. So there's a lot of ground is covered in this economic package, as you mentioned, for the MSMEs, for corporates, for taxpayers, for the migrant labor, for the labor classes, especially EPF contributions. So on balance, when you look at the economic package, Arun, you think the government has got it right? Struck the right balance, so to speak?
Absolutely, Ramesh. This was a need of the hour. And why? Let's try to understand. Japan is a country which is investing a stimulus of 21% of the GDP.
Right.
India is among the top 3 or top 4 countries which is investing massively as far as the stimulus is concerned. So a viewer of ours would want to know that why actually we are investing so much to revive our, or why we are looking for made in India products. There are 2 factors for that as of now. Most of the companies as of now which have invested in China particularly, they're looking forward for looking for some another alternative market.
Absolutely.
Nitin Gadkari, the MSME, the road transport minister, MSME minister, clearly said that if in case a company or who has invested in China, they're looking for alternative market, how can India become a big market for them? Because if we talk about Asia, India is the only alternate market as far as if you look at China. So many companies looking forward to leave the investment in China and come to India. So how can we become a competitive market as far as global of a global stature to attract investment which is coming from China and which is looking for market? So that's an important part. That's a number 1 point.
Right.
Number 2. After the COVID crisis is over, particularly we don't know when it will be over, but whenever it is over, Ramesh, one thing is for sure. Many economies will be falling into recession. There will be a chain reaction of falling of the economies as far as recession is concerned. Be it Europe, US is also likely to go into recession. UK's, you look at the GDP number of UK, it is slowing, it is going into negative territory as far as GDP is concerned. So there should not be a cascading impact on India as well. So when we become self-reliant economy, when we completely focus on make in India and made in India, the impact of recession will not be that much on economy like India. And that's the reason it's a 2-tier strategy. One, to safeguard ourselves from recession, completely manufacture everything in India, completely try to manufacture everything in India. So there is no cascading impact when it comes to recession. We are consuming country and we are only manufacturing country. That's an idea. So when 130 crore people are ready to consume after the COVID crisis, it is India which is a manufacturing hub. We are not only creating for ourselves for 130 crore people, but we will be creating and manufacturing for entire globe, for entire world. So that's
Absolutely.
the reason to safeguard from recession, number 1. And many countries, many companies primarily which are trying to leave markets like China. So an alternative and big market, a quality market primarily. So we are making a market for these companies as well.
Absolutely. So as my colleague Arun was pointing out, Prime Minister Modi is playing for tomorrow, so that India becomes self-reliant in the post-COVID new world order. On that note, Arun, thank you so much for joining us on this special broadcast. Appreciate it. Right, moving on in news about the Vande Bharat mission now. So far, 4 flights from neighboring Bangladesh have landed in India. One more flight carrying 169 people set flight today. Here's a report from our correspondent Rajesh Jha in Dhaka.
The evacuation of Indian nationals from Bangladesh continued for the 5th day today. A batch of 169 persons, mostly students, are leaving for Srinagar from Dhaka at 11 a.m. in the afternoon. This is the 3rd flight to Srinagar. 1 flight each to Delhi and Mumbai have also been operated from Dhaka in the past. The stranded Indians who have been evacuated from Bangladesh expressed their thanks for the help extended by the Indian High Commission and Government of India to evacuate them.
From Ocean Medical College, and we are feeling really happy today after getting evacuated from the Bangladesh. And we feel we are thankful to the Government of India, Government of Jammu and Kashmir and the High Commission in Dhaka. They have made this process very easy for the students who are stuck here in the Bangladesh. They help a lot to the students, especially the High Commission helped a lot to the students before they were stuck here in Bangladesh during the pandemic. And we are really thankful to them and thanks a lot.
Rajesh Jha for DD News, Dhaka.
And shifting focus from South Asia now to West Asia, India's Consul General in Dubai, Vipul, and his team took stock of the situation at the Dubai airport to help the distressed citizens take a flight back home. Special arrangements for medical screening were made for people who required assistance at the airport. Efforts are being made to give priority to workers who have lost their jobs, medical emergency cases, pregnant women, and some who were stranded for other reasons. The Indian Consul General says repatriation is going on smoothly. The special flights are also carrying the mortal remains of some.
We are trying to utilize these flights to also send back the mortal remains. The Indian population here is very large, 3.4, 3.5 million, and it's natural that deaths occur in families, and most families then want the mortal remains to go back. So in between the lockdown period, both in India and here, the mortal remains could not be repatriated. So now we are taking advantage of all these flights to send back mortal remains. So we are trying to help as much as possible, and in the past flights also we have made special efforts to get the mortal remains sent to India after completing the formalities here.
And this is what some Indians at the Dubai airport had to say about the Indian government's Vande Bharat mission.
My name is Arun. I lost my job and now I just get very relief because I'm going back to my home, and I'm really grateful from Indian consulate and Indian authorities.
I'm going back to India because I'm 30 weeks pregnant and I'm happy to going back.
Arrangement is very nice. We are happy with that. Let us wish Vande Mataram, Vande Bharat.
Hi, my name is Siona and I want to go India. I really thank you CGI.
Me and my father stuck in Kuwait. We have no other ways to escape from here. But the government of India has helped us to reach over India. We are very thankful for that. And I am very thankful for the things which have been done by the government of India. Thank you.
And that's a wrap on this special broadcast. But news continues here on DD India. You can catch all the latest updates on our social media, mobile and digital platforms. I want to leave you with a music video released by the ICCR, which focuses on the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.